Oh, let me get rid of you guys, actually. Good morning, Bengals fans. It is Saturday, the 1st of May, 2021. The top news this morning, the Bengals draft someone and then draft someone else. Good morning, Jamie. And good morning, Peter Dadswell.
Morning.
How is everybody today? Day 2. Everyone looks a little bit broken, I have to say.
You know, we've been planning for this for weeks now, and I'm not sure that I felt this bad in terms of actual kind of physical fatigue in quite a while. I have managed to sort of piece together 8 hours sleep, but that's over the space of about 2 days. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the weekend goes. But yeah, I guess it was worth staying up for. It's certainly given us lots to discuss last night.
Indeed. We will, of course, be punctuating this breakfast show, the Bengals breakfast show, the Bengals UK breakfast show, with travel news, weather, and going to an old man who's doing something for charity so everybody can go, too. Pete, speaking of old men, Pete, good morning. How are you feeling today? Sorry.
You had to go there. Come on, man.
I'm joking.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, it's tough. And given that you raised the issue of age, the older you get, is the harder this gets. But
I'm finding that too, Pete. I'm finding. Don't really worry about that.
Yeah, be careful. Look, I'm a draft geek. I love the draft. It's my time, so I look forward to this all year. So I'm powering through. I'll be all right. I'll be absolute dead to the world come 10 o'clock tonight, whenever. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Well, it is a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it? And I think you could say that about the Bengals drafting themselves. You can't really judge the Jamar Chase, however exciting that is. You can't judge that pick in isolation. And we were hoping, again, why is it trapped? We had to really draft an offensive lineman last night. And looking how the way it played, the Jags selected Tyson Campbell, then Elijah Moore went to the Jets, Javonte Williams went to Denver, Javon Holland went to the Dolphins, Landon Dickerson went to the Eagles, and then we were picking at 6 in round 2, and we all thought, hello, Tevin Jenkins, he's the one that we want, isn't it? He's there. Liam Eichenberg had his fans out there, Walker Little was around. Aaron Banks and all these. Sam Cosme, of course, was highly mocked to us and fancied by a lot of Bengals fans. So we were in a prime position. So what do?
Trade down.
What were your initial thoughts? What were your initial thoughts about that? Because initially I thought, oh, another couple of fours. They're good in the mid rounds. That's pretty good haul. And then I thought, okay, we better have a plan in round 2. What were your initial thoughts on that, Jamie?
Well, prior to the second round starting, there were rumours doing the round as they usually do, that the Bengals were very much in love with Jackson Carman, which was something of a surprise. He, I guess, has been showing up as a kind of round 3 prospect for most people, maybe a third day for some people as well. But the Bengals can't hide anything. They don't smokescreen anything. When these things tend to start circulating, they tend to be true. So at that point, you've got to think, well, have they picked the right guy? Are they after the right guy? I'm fine with trading down. That picks up lots of juicy picks for today, and lots of players we can use to fill out the roster. There's certainly plenty of holes in the roster and plenty of room for development. But I'm not sure that Jackson Carman is the right guy.
We'll see. I think a lot of people are screaming, why have they chosen Carman over Cosme or Tevin Jenkins? Because the Patriots selected, they came up quite a lot, actually, from 30. Well, yeah, I can't remember where they came up from. But
46.
Anyway, 46. Christian Barmore, the defensive tackle out of Alabama, who many had a first-round grade on, so they obviously wanted their guy. And then, of course, this happened.
The NFL's Inspire Change initiative showcases how the NFL family works together to reduce barriers to opportunity and create positive change in communities across America. Cincinnati native Means Cameron is a graduate of Program Mortar, supported by the Bengals' local Inspire Change efforts that helps minority entrepreneurs build a comprehensive skill set. From there, Means built his own successful business, Black-owned, and is using his growing business to create a brand that transcends race, generation, and location. Congratulations, Means. Please do us the honor of announcing your Cincinnati Bengals pick. I got you. Come on, bud. You come with me.
Wow. Cincinnati, it's our year. Black-owned boys in the building. Who they? And with the 46th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jackson Carman, tackle, Clemson. Let's get it.
Well, they decided.
Well, there we go. Me personally, I think I might have loved the appearance of the black-owned guy a bit more than the pick, if I'm being honest with you. Pete, tell us about Jackson Carman. What are your thoughts on him? It feels a glaring need. We wanted offensive line. But as Jamie said, there were rumours that Jackson Carman was their guy. I got a tweet saying that he'd heard from someone's mother's brother's dog's sister or whatever that they'd sort of fallen in love with a guy that many had rated a lot lower down. And I guess that's the draft, isn't it? Some teams have players rated on their board a lot higher than us idiots out here in fandom. So yeah, Jackson Carman, what's
he was described there as a tackle, but most people thought because of short arms, he's more likely to be a guard. And sure enough, straight away, Zach Taylor said he will be competing at guard. So we've looked at bringing someone in who could perhaps compete in the interior and perhaps then kick out to tackle. He's a big lad. He's Ohio born. Previously a nominee for the Anthony Munoz award when he was in high school as the top offensive player. Look, I wouldn't have been inspired by him at 38. When the news came that we're interested in him, just like you, we all heard this, and as Jamie says, we don't cover these things up well, so we knew there was a lot of truth in it, and therefore a trade down, which is something that we do often in the second round, we've done it a number of times, makes it a little bit more palatable. The trade down was very good. We gave it a 38 and got back 46, so we went down 8 places and got 122 and 139 today. Now that haul is, if you look at the trade chart, is a mid-6th extra than what we should have had, and that was quite consistent across the board. That teams trading up over the last 2 days have been having to overpay. So we have got ourselves a great haul. Have we got ourselves a great player? We'll never know. And well, we will know eventually. But for the here and now, yes, there were players I would have loved. I was calling for Tevin Jenkins, who went the very next pick, frustratingly, or Samuel Cosme. But this was quite clearly their guy. Frank Pollack backed him. He wanted him. Fine, great. Our former O-line great Willie Anderson trains him. He backs him. So if these two people back him, who are we to say no? We've got to have a little bit of faith that he will work out. If nothing else, he's going to shut up the NFL media who like to bash the Bengals and give us an F grade for recruiting or drafting the best wide receiver and not going O-line. So hopefully he'll shut them up.
Now, I'm just going to put this out there. Not I'm bitter or anything, but if we'd have drafted Sewell, and we didn't, so we have to move on from that. Team Sewell, all right, lads and lasses out there. It could have played out. We could have taken Sewell, and then we still had our choice pretty much of receivers in the top of that second round. Terrace Marshall was still there. Diami Brown. I think one of the Moores went quite early, didn't he, in the second round? So that scenario would have played out, but we didn't. We drafted Chase. Brilliant. Can't wait to see Chase in his #1 jersey. People go rightfully very excited about that. So let's just go through the second round real quick. So like yesterday, just chip in when you feel you have something to say.
I'll just come in slightly more on the Jackson Carman pick.
Sorry, yes.
We sat here and he isn't the pick that anyone was expecting, but it is good to see the video from when he was get picked, how excited his family and friends were that it was Cincinnati, that he's staying around for them. He's from Fairfield, Ohio, which isn't a million miles away from the city. Good local boy. Apparently, big boy.
Big program.
Big program as well. He dominated a hot dog eating contest. That's something I've read. This is the good news that
important stuff.
Yeah, that's the important stuff. That's the kind of stuff that would get Paul and Alexander going.
Pro Day, that's the most important thing, surely.
It is.
This is going to provide material for our tailgates next season, isn't it? We're going to end up having a hot dog eating contest. There you go. Put you can see
sure.
the light bulb above Paul's head.
Listen, I'm behind the guy. I think it's great. As you said, Pollack's right behind him.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor said they would have selected him at 38 if they'd have stayed there, but they were confident that if they'd have moved down. So, you can argue, savvy bit of business from the Bengals. They filled a position of need. I don't think many of us expected it to be Carman, but it is. And as you say, Jamie, he seems completely delighted to be a Bengal, and that's fantastic. And I think in Frank Pollack we trust. To iron out his technical difficulties. I saw some film of him last night, or some clips. I'm not a professional film guy, so I always hate using the word film. I just watch clips of videos, and some guy put some on yesterday or last night, and some reps he was like completely dominant. Looked like fantastic, as you said, Jamie, massive guy. And then some reps his feet were completely all over the place. So an interesting pick. More of a project, really, than a kind of a throw in there starter. But Zach said he's going to compete for a starting spot, and I think it shows that they have confidence in what they've got. If I'm being honest, that shows. They feel that they can draft a projecty guy and try and bring him along, and Pollack really get to work with him, because they've got two starting caliber guards, in Serfilo and Spain. So what can you say? Let's get behind him. Welcome to Cincinnati. I hope he's a success.
Can I just compare and contrast with the approach to the Las Vegas Raiders? In the first round, their guy was Alex Leatherwood. Surprised everyone, but their guy was Alex Leatherwood, and they went and got him. And they didn't look at, well, if we wait around, if we trade down, will we still get him? Right? Most people were suggesting he would be there at the top of the second, but I don't know if they got any trade offers. Someone said, they tried to trade down but didn't get any offers. And the way people were moving around the first round, I doubt that. But it was their guy, and they went and got him. We had Jackson Carman. He was our guy, and we were always going to get him. But we still picked up 2 extra fourths while still getting our man. So in that respect, credit to them.
Okay, let's just run quickly. Absolutely, it's all about sticking to your board, right? And if you've got a guy at the top of your board and you love him, you fall in love with him, you have privy and access to stats and scouting reports and interviews, personal interviews that we as fans don't have, and you're confident in that pick, then got to go with it. Right, let's run quickly through round 2, because it was a frantic round 2. Lots of trades going on. As I say, where was I up to? The Patriots took Barmore. The Bears took Tevin Jenkins next. The Falcons, Richie Grant. The Lions, Levi Onwuzurike. Dolphins took Eichenberg. The Raiders, Trevor Murray. Cowboys, Kelvin Joseph, the cornerback. Walker Little went to the Jaguars. Then it was us with Jackson Carman. Again, lads, just chip in if there's any picks that you've liked particularly. The Chargers went with Asante Samuel Jr. 49ers, Aaron Banks. He went a bit higher than I thought he would, but they obviously liked him there. The Cardinals, Rondale Moore, wide receiver.
That's a trend. We're getting sides just saying, okay, we need to put points on the board. Forget defense, points on the board. We are going to load up. And the Cardinals are doing that. Who have they got now?
AJ Green,
Hopkins. They're just loading up. The Bucks are doing it. Dare I say it, we're doing it. But it's the way to go. It's the way to go.
Giants at 18 in the round 2. Azeez Ujulari, I think that's one that stings a little bit, really, doesn't it?
It does. He was arguably the second best edge rusher, and injury has sent it down there. But that injury, unless it's chronic, is going to be over within a few months. And someone has got themselves, or in this case, the Giants have got themselves a real player there. And I hope we don't regret that one.
Washington, Sam Cosmi. Sam Cosmi goes to the Capitol. Cleveland.
Sam Cosmi, great physical prospect. I think they need to teach him how to play football.
I think he's quite comparable to Jackson Carman, actually. Great physicality, but needs some work on his bits and bobs.
Unpolished is probably
unpolished. Yeah, that's right. Cleveland, divisional rival. Now, this is an interesting pick. They went with Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah. He fell quite a lot. I like the pick at that point in the draft, and if he's got a first round grade and he's in the middle of round 2, why not? It's a good pick.
I mean, yes, that's a good pick because of his value, as you said. I mean, I do a shadow draft, and I was pondering on whether to draft him at that stage for the very reason, but I just don't know what position he is. I mean, he's down as a linebacker, but he's more a linebacker third safety. And if you've got a creative defensive coordinator, then you'll get to use him. The comp is from last season is Simmons, who went to the Cardinals in and he's not set the NFL on fire yet. Yes, I know it's just his rookie year, but sometimes you need a position so you can settle and you can learn a position, become good at a position, and there is a risk that he's going to fall between two stools. So I'm a little bit jury out on that pick.
Okay. The Titans at 21 went for Dylan Radens. The Colts doubled down on pass rushing.
My guy.
And it's your guy, Pete. Deo Odeyingbo.
Yeah.
So Kwity Paye, and if Odeyingbo recovers fully, that could be a pretty scary bookend there. Now, a divisional rival, the Steelers. They went for Pat Freiermuth.
Freiermuth's going to kill us for the next 10 years.
Do you think that's a name that will haunt us for the rest of time?
I drafted him in my shadow draft team for that very reason. I don't want to pick a Steelers player, but yeah, I mean, he's going to. Jamie tweeted this last night. As soon as it happened, he will haunt us for a decade. You just know it's coming.
Yeah. We've got Jordan Evans, so it's fine. Seattle went for Dwayne Eskridge, one of Andrew Dockerell's lads there. The Rams went with Tutu Atwell.
He's so diddy. He's so tiny.
I know. Interesting. The Chiefs went with Nick Bolton.
Yeah,
good
nice
pick, underrated pick. Now then, the Panthers replaced Curtis Samuel with Terrace Marshall. He dropped all the way down. I think there was a few injury concerns, weren't there, that emerged with Terrace, but he went down near the bottom of that second round. The Saints, Pete Werner, the linebacker. The Bills went with Carlos Basham, and the Packers, Josh Myers. 2 centers in a row. The Chiefs went for Creed Humphrey. The Chiefs completely remodeling their offensive line this offseason. Interesting. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went for a quarterback in Kyle Trask. That was round 2. So let's quickly get on to round 3. Jaguars went with Andre Sisco. Sounds like a 1980s cop in downtown.
Downtown Jacksonville, probably.
Downtown Jacksonville, yeah. Minnesota Vikings, Kellen Mond, quarterback. You quite liked him, didn't you, Jamie? The Mondo man?
Yeah, I think he's slightly overdrafted here. I would have thought he's got reasonable backup kind of written all over him. He had a very long college career. I think he was going for sort of 4 or 5 years. He's got 9,000 passing yards for Texas A&M. He's good. He's a good player, but I mean they've got they've got Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Kellen Mond is basically just Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Again. Okay. So they've just only got the same guy twice, but that's fine. He's cheaper. He's a lot cheaper than Kirk Cousins. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Number 3 in round 3, the Texans entered the chat. I think that's what the kids say these days, isn't it? Davis Mills, another quarterback. Who knows what's happening there at quarterback in Houston? So Houston, I believe that was their first pick in the draft this year, right? I can't remember seeing their name. Falcons went O-line with Jalen Mayfield, and then this happened.
Good evening, Ohio. With the 69th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Joseph Osai, linebacker, Texas.
Yeah, Joseph Osai has experience playing off the ball as well as rushing off the edge. He put on a show at his pro day with his explosiveness of 4.62 40, 41.5-inch vertical. He's very explosive. He's just a little bit tight and stiff. You see it when.
Anyway, enough of Jeremiah. Joseph Osai, as I say, the pass rusher, the edge rusher rather, the outside linebacker. Thoughts, gentlemen? I liked it. I quite liked the pick.
Well, that was you touched on that. That's your point. What position is he? He's more a rush outside linebacker than a hand in the dirt edge, although he can play there. And it does point to being a little bit more varied in our defense. We were traditionally a 4-3, and then we drive Carl Lawson. Everyone thought, oh, maybe we're going to be moved to a 3-4 defense, but no, we stayed at 4-3. Osei's interesting. He's interesting. I mean, he's got pace. He can shown he can get to the quarterback. But also, I think that he's going to be very useful if we decide to have him drop into coverage. I know we don't normally like that for our edge, but if you've got a Pat Fryermouth running around, this guy's going to be able to keep up. But yeah, I mean, I'm liking what we've got now. With Hendrickson and Osai and Hubbard, there's a good blend there of different types of players, and maybe get a little bit more pass rush help today, and I'll be pleased with that.
Osai seems to me like a pretty much straight ahead replacement for Lawson. You look at Lawson, as you say, who came out of college. He was not a hand in the dirt guy at all. He came steaming off the edge, but was an outside linebacker. And Osai seems very quick. I haven't had a chance to kind of see all the interviews and press conferences yet, but yeah, I like this pick. Yeah, for me, what I saw, he had a second round grade with a lot of guys out there. So, I mean, to be honest, if you kind of flip the picks in round 2 and 3, you'd probably that would probably even itself out. So actually, again, it's worth judging as a whole rather than just individual pick. But certainly, I like the pick, Jamie. The prospect of more speed off the edge, that's got to be a good thing, right?
Yeah, so obviously pass rush is something the Bengals have been missing for ages and ages and ages. The knock on Osai is that he's not quite the right size, he's not quite the right build. So he falls into that end linebacker kind of liminal space. His pro day was outstanding. He's very, very fast. He's very twitchy. He's very he's got good quickness, good change of direction. So there's definitely something to work with there. Maybe he needs to build up a little bit more. But that might take away some of the USP with him.
It just seems, I mean, exactly like Lawson. If you remember, he came back second season, completely transformed physically, not completely, but bulked out, much bigger guy. I like this pick. I do like it.
I think you're right about looking at things in totality. And had you flipped the second and third round picks around, you would have said, "Yeah, what a great second day." So it doesn't matter how we got there. The whole after days 1 and 2, I think we can give a good grade if we were doing it like that. I think we can be pleased with that. And Osai finished the evening off well.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's just run through round 3 because there's some players that I certainly liked. I know you guys liked as well. The Panthers went Brady Christensen, the tackle.
Yeah, I would have liked him. He good development prospect. He would have been a good one. I regret that he's gone.
Aaron Robinson, the cornerback, went to the Giants. This one's a killer for me personally, especially the Lions who took Saul as well. Cheers, Lions. Absolutely just stabbing me repeatedly. Alan McNeil, one of my draft crushes at defensive tackle, he went to the Lions.
Another knee biter.
Then the player seemingly most mocked to the Bengals, I think we all secretly wanted him. He fit what we needed. He fit, kind of scheme-wise as well. And certainly his athletic profile was outstanding for a defensive tackle. Milton Williams went to the Eagles, rather. Washington picked up Benjamin St-Juste. I remember our own Liam Corlett in your draft round table, Pete, calling his name. Cowboys went with Osa Odigizua. Paulson Adebo went to the Saints. Josh Palmer, the wide receiver. The Chargers. Chaz Surratt. Anybody called Chaz is all right in my book, I think. Went to the Vikings.
Can I just say about that one? I'm surprised at that one a little bit. Surratt's a good player. He's transitioning from being a quarterback, and that's a really unusual move to make. And he's got a lot about him. He's got a lot of pace. But the reason I'm surprised is that there are other linebackers out there at the moment who are more vaunted, and and we'll get onto that. They're still there. They're still there for rounds 4, 5, and 6, and 7. So that surprised me a bit.
The Raiders went with Malcolm Kuntz, the edge rusher. And again, the Raiders picked back-to-back there. Divine Diablo, one of the best names in the draft. He's an interesting player.
Yes.
Hunter Long went to the Dolphins, the tight end. And then Washington picked Dami Brown. Again, if we'd have played, I mean, that's round 3. So he dropped a fair way, didn't he, old Dami?
That Washington offense is looking very, very tasty.
Defense as well now.
And young.
I mean, you add Jamin Davis into that defensive front.
Yeah.
That's they're doing well.
They're almost a quarterback away, aren't they?
Exactly. That should be.
They got Fitz. He's he's competent.
Yeah, competent doesn't win you a Super Bowl, but they're doing it the other way. They are loading up, and then they'll go and get their quarterback. Whereas a lot of other ones get their quarterback and try and load up as soon as they can once they've got that quarterback. It's the way we're trying to do it.
Carolina at 20 went Tommy Tremble. Tommy Tremble's a name. The Cowboys went Chauncey Goldston. Goldston. That's interesting because the Bengals, I think, worked him out quite extensively. I do wonder whether they had their eyes on him a bit later on. But
I like him. I think the Cowboys have got a good one there.
The Packers, Amari Rodgers, another Rodgers to replace one Rodgers. One Rodgers goes, another one comes in. Who knows where that will
Ouch.
The Vikings again. They seem to be picking a lot this round. What's going on? Wyatt Davis, the guard. Now then, Steelers take Kendrick Green, someone who is mocked quite regularly to us. So the Steelers are loading up there.
We go back to the Wyatt Davis one. I think Wyatt Davis is probably a starter in this league. The big knock on him is his recovery from quite a significant knee injury, but I would have liked him. Sort of round 3, obviously double dipping on offensive line might have kind of restricted what you could get from the rest of the draft, but I wouldn't have minded Wyatt Davis in the 3rd round at all.
Yeah, but the problem is he's an Ohio State interior O-lineman, and they don't really work for us at the moment.
No, right. I'm not going to run through everyone. So key picks, the Vikings at 27 again went with Patrick Jones. Again, someone that was, I think all 3 of us probably mocked at some point. The Browns went with Anthony Schwartz at wide receiver.
He's rapid.
He's rapid, isn't he?
Be great if he catch the ball.
Yeah. Baltimore at 30 went with Ben Cleveland, and I think that's a bit of like, he's a good player, isn't he?
He's an AFC North interior O-lineman. He really is. I mean, the guy's a mauler. So
Cleveland mocked by Cincinnati, but word goes to Baltimore. So that's an interesting AFC North connections there. Ronnie Perkins goes to the Patriots at 33. Trey McKitty, the tight end, goes to the Chargers. Quinn Miners was picked up by the Broncos at 35. I think he could have been a good player for us as well. And finally, in round 3, Baron Browning, the linebacker, goes to the Broncos again. So that's round 3. Someone on Twitter just said after day 2, fire Tobin and Zach. Nothing like a bit of optimism to start the day with. I don't quite know where we are at the moment. All my guys have gone pretty much. Anybody that you've got your eye on in rounds? I mean, we've got 3 picks in round 4, so it's going to be busy for us. So who are we looking out for in round 4?
Well, I've got the ones that interest me the most: the Stone Forsyth, the huge offensive tackle from Florida, 6'8". He's one to bring in. Jordan Smith, the edge rusher who was so good in the Senior Bowl from UAB, and one of my draft crushes, Jalen Twyman from Pitt. Again, the Pitt boys, their workouts didn't help them. You saw Patrick Jones drop lower than you would have thought, but I like Twyman. But yeah, there are others available. There's a certain not for round 4, but there's a certain kicker still there that Jamie will like. There's some cornerbacks I could see us dipping for. There's Kerry Vincent from LSU, who's a slot cornerback and very, very quick. So he would certainly be good as on special teams. Quincy Roche, the Florida edge. So yeah, there are some out there.
Yeah, I would add Jalen Darden to that mix. His name hasn't been called yet. I think he might be an exciting addition. Still one of my draft crushes. He's still out there. I still hold out to him. And Jay Tufeli is out there, if I pronounced that right. Deontay Brown, the guard that is probably bigger than the city of Coventry, I think.
And the other Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the wide receiver from USC. Yeah,
Tylen Wallace, Brevin Jordan, Andrew Dockerell's draft crush. Anybody out there? Where do you think we should go in round 4, Jamie? I mean, we've got a wide receiver, we've got our edge rusher, and we've got our interior offensive lineman. Where next?
I'd do it again. Get another receiver, get another O-line, get another edge rusher. Just double dip, bring talent in at positions of need. Obviously, I want Evan McPherson in as a kicker. 5th or 6th round for that. I think we can use our 4th elsewhere. But I'm higher on him than any of the other kickers. I really like sort of his leg. He's got impeccable leg strength. He's got great technique. And we are missing a good kicker. And we've still got the guy from Cleveland whose name I'm struggling to remember on the roster. But we need a Randy Bullock replacement.
It wouldn't surprise me if no kickers are drafted, because these days it does seem as if they all become UDFAs. But it's worth getting your man by drafting it with a 6th or a 7th, because as a UDFA, you're competing with 31 other teams at that point.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I'm going to let you go back off to bed or get on with your day. Thank you so much for watching our little breakfast recap. We'll be back tomorrow. Should we do 3 in a row? We'll see.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? All right, let's have a big old debrief tomorrow morning at the same time. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely Saturday. Draft, I believe, starts at 5 o'clock this afternoon, UK time. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow on Good Morning Bengals.